More than 250,000 Iowans came out to participate in Monday night's caucuses. Iowa is one of just 13 states to hold a caucus. Residents in Keokuk stressed the importance of Iowa's being first in the nation. Retired Fire Chief Mark Wessel believes the Iowa caucuses determine not only the state's future, but hold who could be the next president of the United States.
If I want and care about the future, that I be involved, because in this particular country, that's the greatest country in the world, we get to do this in a democratic way.
Some Iowans come to the caucuses unsure of which candidate they'll vote for. This gives supporters the opportunity to persuade them toward a particular candidate. Jerry Kearns is serving his 4th term in the Iowa House. He believes the caucuses are about much more than the vote.
This is kind of a boots on the ground type of thing. It's not just going in and putting a ballot or in the ballot box. It's coming out, taking a night to support the candidate you're wanting to support.
Monday night's caucuses weren't just attended by Iowans. Political junkies like Norma Brown and Stephen Smart drove hours to watch the events unfold.
And I think that without a vote, there is no voice, no vote, no voice. And so I just wanted to see how it all works and put that in my little compartment of things to know.
This is not a spectator sport up here. You got to show up. You got to stand, you got to be grouped with similarly minded folks. You've got to raise your hand and step up.
But first, students, faculty, and community members are still speaking on the Illinois state budget impasse.
WIU President Jack Thomas said in a press conference Friday morning he hoped the meeting would urge Illinois lawmakers to fund higher education. He says student groups rallying at WIU and the state capitol should continue to stand their ground.
I just would say to the students to continue to advocate and be patient, and we are very hopeful that we will get a budget soon, not just a state appropriation, but MAP funding as well.
Even without funds, WIU has fronted the money for MAP grants. President Thomas says 2,700 WIU students receive MAP funding, an annual cost of $11 million. Officials at Quincy University agree the lack of state funds is causing big problems for students.
It creates an uncertainty and certainly a cash flow problem for the university. But worse than that, I think, is the effect on students.
Also happening Friday, Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner vetoed Senate Bill 2043. One of the bill amendments would have allocated more than $7 million to higher education in the in the state, more than half going to MAP grants. Student Government President Will Gradle says he's frustrated with the result and wants to see Illinois government make what he calls authentic solutions.
I've talked to first-generation students, single mothers, students just from low-income houses. They're the ones in society who need to get an education and bolster themselves up, and taking away the MAP grant absolutely takes that away from them.
The MAP grant is what I use to pay for my utilities, my food, clothing, washing things like that. So it's really kind of like essential to me because it's what I live off of.
President Will Gradle will give the State of the Student address March 9th at 3 p.m. in Sherman Auditorium.